welcome back to the channel, Monique Speaks and Reactions. So guys, in the comments section, I posted some pictures this morning of the actual troll and the scholastic book forms that we used to fill out when we used to order books, and we would order and we'd be so excited to get the books. And I know I was, at least, when I had money to be able to get them. But definitely, the other thing I posted was Reading is Fundamental, RIF. I don't know if you're old school, you remember the RIF program at the library. I think you read like 5 to 6 books, and then you were able to pick out a book for free, and then you would get awards and different things like that. Well, here's a teacher right here on the screen, and she's saying high school kids can't read either. Let's listen to what she has to say, and I'll come back with the commentary.
Over social media, you saw nothing but teachers talking about how elementary and middle school kids are reading 4 years below grade level. Well, as a high school teacher, I'm here to inform you that high school kids are doing way worse. They are reading 6 years below grade level. The only difference is a whole heap of these kids are going to graduate at the end of this school year, and we are expecting them to go to college and obtain jobs when they cannot even comprehend basic skills, which is why we probably see a problem with employers finding employees. There are literally high school kids reading on a 3rd grade reading level and have them pass state tests are on or above grade level. See, the issue is schools have dumbed it down for kids. They have made it so easy that kids believe that their only job is to show up and behave. And that should be enough to get a passing grade and to go on to the next grade level. We have a real issue here. And please do not talk to me about graduation rates, because Bugs Bunny could graduate in this era. Make it make sense.
Wow. This woman said a mouthful. And she highlighted just several different areas that we need to talk about. One area is she's saying that high school students are reading on a 3rd grade level, and that the school system is expecting teachers to prepare them to read at or above grade level and to go on to high college. She also mentioned that I know when we look at TikTok and on social media, we see that people are having a hard time finding jobs. Now, I don't know if this is for everybody, and I don't think so. But is this the reason why employers, where are you sharing people at, the HR people at? What type of resumes are you seeing? Are they able to interview? Are they coming to the interviews with flip-flops and, flip socks? I don't know. Y'all let me know. Are they coming with the bodysuit? The girls, I don't know. I'm just saying, a bodysuit. And I don't know. Like it's a hot girl summer. Let me know. The Sherm people, y'all comment down below. But she said Bugs Bunny can pass and graduate. So basically, your child getting a high school diploma back in the day was such an accomplishment, especially in the Black communities, because we knew that was a stepping stone to go on to college. But at that time, 20, 30 years ago, some jobs didn't even require a high school diploma. Now, a high school diploma, is just minimal for certain jobs. If you go look at other jobs, they might want, depending on what it is, 3 to 5 years, 7 to 10 years experience, this certification, that degree. So is this the reason why people are applying for jobs and not hearing back? Because the employers are like, we had them for the interview, or the resume is not looking right. I don't know. You let me know. She also mentioned that they are just not reading and that they've been let down. So it seems to me she's saying a mouthful that some of these students are getting promoted whether they can read or not. So a high school diploma is really not nothing. Basically what she's saying, because she's saying Bugs Bunny, what's up, Doc? If you know, you know, because some of y'all young ones probably don't even know Oh Lord, y'all missed out on a lot of stuff. Y'all family get some DVDs and some VCRs and stuff, and go get some old tapes and let your kids sit and watch that. Keep them off them other screens because it's really kind of frying their brain. I digress, but I'll talk about that in another video. Yeah, she's like, can get a high school diploma. So basically, they have to promote them. What do you guys feel about social promotion? But there was like No Child Left Behind. I think that was the worst thing that could have ever happened. Because back in the day, I got a video coming up about illiteracy and how what was my first experience in realizing that people could not read. You would automatically assume everybody knows how to read. In my mind, when I was a young little girl, I figured everyone knew how to read, you know? And when I found out that some people couldn't, it really, really hurt my heart. But what do you guys feel about promoting a child, even though they can't do the work? The social promotion. You know, back in the day, the teachers that we had back at my school, PS 298, it's now called the Dr. Betty Shabazz School. The teachers would leave you back. You would get left back, period. And they did that, especially for the young black boys, because they knew that if they left them back, they would get that remedial work and it wouldn't be so hard for them going forward. And then also that would keep them and sometimes teach them a lesson to pay attention, but sometimes the kids needed it. They weren't on point. And so leaving them back wasn't really what it should be called. It should just be called, you know, maybe repeating the work and doing some more remedial work, but left back. But that's the way it sounded back then, y'all. Left back was left back. And it was like a blemish, you know, on the kids because the kids will feel bad. But right now, today, we go by emotions, how people feel versus what the real facts are. And the facts are high school students can't read. So how are these jobs? And I was just looking at another YouTuber and he was talking about the new home bills, that these new homes that they're building are trash. Shout out to the home builders and the real estate brokers. You know, it ain't all y'all fault. But is it that some of these people don't know the basic stuff to be able to? Because I know some carpenters and he was reading that tape measure. I was like, wait, you know, you got to be a pro with, you know, measurements. If you're a carpenter, in my opinion, you should know those numbers. You know, you should know how to add, subtract, divide, and multiply because you might have to take off. I'm doing some renovations at one of my homes, and he was like, no. I was like, is this mirror going to fit? He was like, hold on for a minute. He pulled out his tape measurer. He pulled it out. He measured it. He was like, okay, minus, subtract that. He said, no, you got about 2 more inches. You have 48 inches. And you got to be able to do that in your head. So is that the reason why these houses are trash? Because people can't read, write, or even do arithmetic. Something is wrong, guys. I just got finished watching this video about people who bought new homes in 2025. And when I tell you, it just looked like everything was, you know, the stairs, I don't know the terminology, but the stuff that's real important that need to be where it need to be. You know, I'm the medical terminology. I don't know, you know, building terminology. But stuff was all messed up. Y'all, this is a crisis. Like, I don't know who's talking about it. And the teachers is quitting. They're running from the classroom, booking. They're like, we out of here. And the old school teachers, I loved all my teachers. They were very stern, but they show love and compassion to the children. Now, Ms. Zucker, she would scream at you, but she wanted you to learn. She wanted you to learn. God rest the soul, Ms. Zucker. Ms. Zucker taught my mother, my uncle, me, my cousins. She taught 4 generations of our family. She sure did, and used to run the candy sale at the school. If y'all remember that, y'all from Brooklyn, y'all, you know, put it down there. Ms. Zucker used to run the candy sale. She ran that candy sale, child. That was her thing. That was her thing, that candy selling, and you would get them cheap prizes. I just always think, well, it's all this candy. And all you gonna give me is a pack ball and some jacks? So that was a scam back then, them candy sales. But those are stories for other days. Anyway, y'all, the kids can't read. The teachers is leaving. They're saying deuces. They're going about their business and doing whatever it is that they need to do. But she said even Bugs Bunny, what's up, Doc, can even get a high school diploma these days. So I don't know what to tell y'all, but I'm going to keep reporting on this, and I'm going to continue. This is one of my segments that I'm going to be doing on this channel as it relates to literacy, because this all goes in this economic, realm that we're in right now. If you can't read, somebody, y'all in the military, y'all for your service, that's the basic aptitude test for military standards. Y'all let me know, y'all recruiters and stuff, but there is a problemo. And I'm wondering how these students passing, like, I'm gonna say from I gotta find out and try to get in contact with some of the nursing schools. Are these students that y'all are getting, because older students, I believe, that are like 30, 40, that are going into nursing, they're gonna be all right because they learn the old school way. But some of y'all in your 20s, I don't know, y'all. You let me know what y'all think about this. She said Bugs Bunny can, graduate, and the high schoolers are reading on a third grade level. This is a crisis out here, y'all. And I know I'm making jokes and stuff, but illiteracy, it affects families, it affects generations, it affects relationships, it affects marriages, or the lack thereof of even having a relationship that is going to last. It can put a huge strain on a person, and the stress and the embarrassment that that person may feel. I got a video coming up about it, so I want you guys to like, share, and subscribe. These teachers, I won't say they crashing out, but honey, they getting their pocketbooks, putting their stuff in their bag. They ain't even taking out their decorations or nothing that they put up in the classroom. And they getting out of there. These teachers are like, we were obedient children when we went to school. Miss Mitchell said, be quiet and quiet read, and she would step out the classroom. We knew, we would laugh or giggle a little bit, but we knew better. We knew better. It's like our teachers were our parents. And now we got this breed of teachers coming in, getting with the students, looking like the students. Y'all, I don't know what's going on in this world, but if I had children, young children right now, they would be homeschooled. And there's nothing wrong with homeschooling, because a lot of homeschooled children, they are some of the smartest children that you will have. Because they are some of the smartest students. You can cover a lot of information, and a lot of them go on to Ivy League schools and all that other good stuff. So homeschooling ain't a bad thing if you are able to do it. Let me know what y'all think about this. I'm just envisioning Bugs Bunny sitting at the front of the class and with a cap and gown on, graduating. The way she's talking about it, a cartoon character can graduate. Y'all let me know what's going on. She said, make it make sense. It ain't making sense. And you got some good teachers. People want to go to school to be teachers, and they are leaving. They said, I was watching another video. One of the teachers said, when you first come to teaching, they said teachers in the first 5 years, they leave. She said she left that teacher, I think, after 2 or 3 years. She said it was too stressful, it was too much, it was this, it was that, it was this, it was that. Lord have mercy. If you get blessed to go to like a gifted and talented school, or school where kids are really engaged with the parents, and that's a blessing as a teacher. But 9 times out of 10, if you're a new teacher, they might put you in the hood, But not to say that in the hood, because a lot of children in the hood are very smart. They just didn't have the tools that they needed. But let me know what you think, child. Because these teachers, I got more videos where this came from. These teachers is crashing out. And I hate to say crashing out, but they are frustrated and tired and fed up. And they have had it up to here. Okay? They have had it up to here. And they can't take it no more. And what was that? It said, eyes had all I could take, and eyes can't take it no more. They can't take it no more, y'all. And I don't blame them. How are they supposed to, if they in the 11th grade, and they can only read on the 3rd grade level, what are you supposed to? They're not magicians. This is a crisis out here. And it is affecting our young little black boys. I mean, it's affecting our whole society. But when I got into the statistics, wait till y'all hear the statistics about in the black community, and I believe it to be true, because of the way I see things right now, even back in the day, when the crack epidemic was happening. The grandmas who was taking care of the grandkids was still went up to open school night and try to have some input. But I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm not sorry. These mothers of today, they are into their looks, which there's nothing wrong with that, and their hair and their nails. And I rarely hear them engaging or even talking about engaging with their kids. If I had little kids, their Saturday should be not only putting them in activities, but spending time with them. Get them a library card. Go to the library. Take them to museums. People can say what they want about New York, but there's a plethora of things that you could do for free, Free, in New York and in Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Children's Museum, my mother kept us at. Once I went to the library on my own. I had a love of reading before anything. I had a love of reading from a little girl of 5 years old. I had a love of books. Okay, so, but my mother, continued on with it. But by the time I was 10 years old, I could go to the library on my own. I can get my books out. I would do whatever I needed to do so I can read my books. And books was something that really, shaped who I am today. And I thank God that I learned how to read, because without reading and getting that education like that, I don't know. I really don't know, y'all. I really, really don't know. But let me know what y'all think about this video. More to come. Like, share, subscribe, and hit that little bell. And that way YouTube will notify you of all my uploads, so that you can subscribe to all. So that way, if I do a live, if I do a video, you'll be notified that I'm going live or that I have a video that's uploading. All right, y'all. Having a great weekend. Peace, and I'm out.